Goodness. Merry Christmas to all of you out there in Guillotine Fantasyland. We are back for another fun week. We've got a great show lined up for you. Want to do some first thank you from our Christmas little point of view here. Thank you so much in the season of gratitude.
Absolutely.
We're up to over 100 subscribers. Thank you so much for checking out our stuff. The webpage is looking great. Our socials are fun. Hopefully you followed with our last one. We got another winner chicken dinner on our power parlay last night. Frankly, as long as you're picking San Francisco players, you were going to win last night. This is kind of how it played out. So this week we're going to talk about championship previews. So we're going to go through the main players, kind of our end gamers, and who their matchups are. So if you got a decision between one or two of these guys, you got to sit somebody, because everybody's team is stacked now. We're in the final two. So congratulations making it to the championship. We're going to go through those previews for you and who we like and some of the matchups that kind of make us nervous. We're going to talk about Chisholm's, heck of a run, but he lost his head in the Listener League. So we got third place. We're going to go through that. We're going to talk about it for a little bit, kind of the choices he made, what could he have done better, what lessons learned for the rest of us so you go into your championship week with just a little bit more ammo. And then after that, we're going to do our picks for this week, our gambling picks. So that's how we're going to run it this week. So stay with us, have fun. Let's get it started. So I want to throw it over to Chiz. So heck of a season. Congratulations. Thank you for representing the three worthless hosts of this show. At least one of us did well. Because one of us, I'm not going to name names, but he might be wearing a pink shirt, went out in the first week in our own league.
Happens to everybody. Yep.
So that week one score is actually higher than 4 other scores that went out late in this season with stacked teams. Just crazy. But I think some of our new folks, so Tim out there, great job. He won our Shrewdness Zombie League this week, so we got the champion on that. And it was a good game against Brett, so one of our high school buddies. He was the runner-up in that one. So if you were doing the Zombie League in your particular Guillotine League, congratulations as you got those wrapped up. But first, let's kick it over to Chiz. Let's talk about the week that was. And just go through it, man. Sometimes the burn hurts, the sting hurts, but what happened?
Sting hurts. The sting definitely hurts, but I'll tell you, I think a lot of it was my shoulders were really tired from carrying the Shrewdness podcast on my shoulders for so long. I finally had to succumb to the weight of the expectations, and I was as we were discussing, I was out kicking my coverage. I did not have the All-Star lineup. Couple things. Two things will kill you in Guillotine. 1, injuries, and 2, starting the wrong person. And both happened to me. 1, Patrick Mahomes went down. Luckily, I picked up Jared Goff, who put up a nice 26 for me. That was a good pickup.
Yeah,
but
that was good.
The guys I were counting on as in-gamers really faded down the stretch. Emeka Egbuka the last few weeks was trash. I refused to go off him. This is a good lesson for folks in Guillotine.
Yeah.
I was waiting and bidding to get Emeka Egbuka because I was like, he's an in-game guy. So when I got him, he had a couple bad weeks in a row, and I was like, I refused to believe he wasn't that guy. And so I started him this week. He gave me a whopping 5 points.
You know what it reminds me of? I want to use a good metaphor here. So if you guys have ever played roulette, and you see the colors come up, red, like 4 bad weeks in a row. It's got to be black eventually. That's just the odds. What's the chance of it going red 5 times in a row? That's what Emeka Egbuka did to owners this season. What's the chance that Mecca's going to be – he was so good at the beginning. It was all black, baby. We were betting on black.
Right.
Winning. And he had a couple bad weeks, and you just keep riding the dead horse all the way. And that's
I wouldn't give up on him. All the predictions told me I needed to start Stephon Diggs instead of him. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. Stephon put up 22. Emeka Egbuka put up 5. And then I had Trey McBride, the guy who was my bell horse cow, finally put up a stinker. He had 4 catches for 27 yards, 6 points from him. That's not going to do it. And then the final death knell for me was the last of my hopes were riding on Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Went out with a concussion in the first quarter, and that combination just wasn't going to happen. I had great weeks I did have the running backs to do it. I had Bijan Robinson, who put up 30. I had James Cook put up 26. Those are two in-game guys. I have no regrets about riding those horses.
Yep.
And I had an in-game tight end, and I had an in-game quarterback, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
Wide receivers were weak for me, and that came back to bite me. I did not have the right wideouts. And good lesson for you guys. I was a guy who was on the ropes early in our league. I was at the bottom of the league every week, and what you do when that happens is you gotta panic a little bit because you got to live week to week, which means got to spend your fab early. Yep. So you spend your fab early, and everyone around me for the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks have been getting better, and I've been holding on, just hoping guys are going to have big games, and eventually that catches up with you. The 2 guys that are left are really good. They've got a real good shot at winning. But it was a fun ride. I'm happy with third. But yeah, so look, some of those lessons there, you guys probably know. Don't overthink too much. Kind of follow some trends because trends are real.
Yeah, and here's a trend on that note. So another guy that's been keep betting on roulette and it's got to be good this week. Jonathan Taylor has not been the guy who he was. I mean, weeks 5 through 10, he put up 5 games over 30 points, which is ridiculous because he was getting 3 touchdowns a week and a lot of catches and receiving touchdowns. The last 5 weeks, so after the bye week in week 11, he came out of the bye terrible. So 16 for 58. He hasn't had a 100-yard game since week 10.
They're like over, aren't they? Out of their bye?
Yeah. I think you're right.
They haven't won a game. So the Colts have just absolutely they went to the bye and rested up and stayed home, I guess. I'm not really sure, but Jonathan Taylor hasn't been the same. I mean, he's been barely averaging – I don't even know if he's been averaging 4 yards a carry. Actually, I know he has. I mean, you look at these stats, he's been at best 4 yards a carry on his good games. So it's just one of those – and he's going against Jacksonville, who is one of the tougher rush defenses in the league. If this is your championship week, I mean, you can't bench him, I know, but good Lord. I think he's one if you actually have an option.
You can if you've got – I mean, you may have a super team at this point, right? If you've got another guy, I would look at another guy. I hate to say it, but
I mean, if you got Bijan and CMC in your 2 spots and he's your flex, you could definitely maybe consider someone else in the flex spot than Jonathan Taylor. And the thing is, I know what you're going to do. The same thing Chisholm was doing with Igbuka. You look at the beginning of the season when Igbuka was an in-game player and playing like one, and he's not anymore. He's just not that player. He hasn't put up a week like that. It's been a long time. I mean, week 10 is the last time Jonathan Taylor was remotely close to being a top 10 back. That's right. That's tough.
So that's a long trend right there. That's one that usually doesn't shift.
So take a look at their opponents, right? Pre-bye, they played the Titans, the Raiders, the Cardinals, Titans again, the Falcons. Amazingly, they beat all those teams.
Right.
And then after the bye, they played the Chiefs, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Seahawks, the Niners, all playoff teams.
Yeah, and then Jacksonville again this week. So
so that's a big reason why. It's not.
Yeah, you're right, Prue.
Yeah,
it's not terribly mystifying why he can't run the ball now, but
it's true.
Matchups matter.
It is,
right?
And then so the last game against Jacksonville, since you brought it up, 21 for 74 yards and a touchdown. So he got in, but that's a 13.4 week. And, and he fumbled, so it was actually 11, by the way. So he didn't even get you to 12 that week. So just temper expectations, in my opinion, this week, because Jacksonville's going for the 1 seed in the AFC. If you don't think they're bringing their A game against either Phillip Rivers or Riley Leonard, all right. But I think it's going to be not a lot of running for the Colts. I think they're going to be playing from behind again, which is what we saw last night against the Niners.
Yeah.
Once they get behind, Jonathan Taylor's out of the game plan, man. So if he doesn't get it in the first half, you better hope the first 15, 30 minutes are pretty good for him. But otherwise, I think they could be behind her.
When you have a geriatric quarterback like Phillip Rivers leading the way.
Props to Phillip Rivers, though. And I got to say, he did so much better than I thought he would do. I set the bar low expectation-wise. In fact, when we did the prop last night and Chisholm took Phillip Rivers over 160, I was like, whoa, really? Wow. All right. I don't know what you saw from last week's 120-yard performance to inspire you, so. But god dang it, that dude didn't come out and start balling. Like, if the Colts could have played any defense whatsoever.
Yes.
I mean, that was actually a competitive game for.
He did enough to win. If you're a Colts fan, I know you're snake bitten right now. I know you feel it. I just saw this stat today. The Colts have played 30. Well, there have been 30-something games played involving the Colts and or opponents that they needed to lose to help their playoff standing in the last 4 weeks, I think it was. Every single one of those games has gone the wrong way. Every single one for the Colts. So they've lost all 4 of their games, and everyone else they needed to lose won. Yeah. So it is like the universe conspiring against you if you're a Colts fan, and that is a snake-bitten franchise anyway. But I'm afeared you folks are going to be on the sidelines with us Chiefs fans come playoff time.
Yeah, it does not look good for Colts
I think you're
fans.
single-digit chance of making it. But then again, you were 98% chance of making the playoffs earlier in the season. So there are ways to turn things around.
That's right.
Like, that was a lock, and now you're almost a lock not to make it. So, Colts fan,
when 100% of things go against you,
right? Yeah, it's true. That's a great point, Drew.
That changes that 98% a lot.
Definitely,
it can go drastic. All right, gents. So I want to go through some of the games with the high end guys for this week. So there's a lot of games, but you know who we're not going to be focusing on is probably the Steelers and Browns. I don't know who you'd be possibly starting in that game that could be of any impact in a Guillotine Championship. And frankly, even in just a normal fantasy championship. So those are the games we're going to go right by. So don't think, oh my God, the Shrewdness didn't even talk about that. What about Shadur? I'm starting Shadur.
Right.
No, you're
not.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
If you have Harold Fannin in your flex, okay, he's pretty good. Like I said, he had another pretty good week last week. But hopefully you're not really counting on him unless you're in a standard league. So let's start with our Christmas Day festivities. Who's going to get the championship week started? None other than Dallas versus Washington. So in that game, really of note, you've got CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, Dak, and probably Ferguson. Maybe.
Although he's fallen off a lot lately.
Yeah, and Pickens is on there too, but I think we talked last week. If you're still counting on George Pickens after seeing if you're already cut, honest to God, if you were starting him in Guillotine, he's not on your team because he's on the chop list and you're done.
Right.
And if you accidentally picked him up because you don't have any roster restrictions or you're allowed to still pick people up, I just don't know if I would. But talking about the other guy, so CeeDee Lamb versus the Commanders, I feel pretty good about him. How do you guys feel about that particular player?
Oh, yeah. Must start against Washington for sure.
I think so, too.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's good. I actually like Javonte Williams in this game.
I do too.
Because I think they're going to be ahead.
Yes.
And I think they're going to be eating some clock. And Javonte's not a great option, but he earlier in the season, if you remember, he scored a lot of touchdowns. He's not a guy that's going to give you a goose egg. And I think they are going to feed him the ball a lot. So I kind of like him in this game.
So Chisholm, on that, Javonte Williams or Jonathan Taylor. If you had both those guys on your team, it's just what we just talked about.
That's an option. Great question.
Like, I think I'm on the side of Javonte Williams because I just like the matchup better. I like the way he's been trending better. Everything about it.
I think I agree. I could see the Cowboys being up 24-0 in that game.
Yeah.
Pretty easily, and then just like we're gonna eat clock, baby, and we're gonna feed Javonte and let him earn his paycheck and
3.2 yards at a time.
And he very easily could get a couple yard touchdown on any of those drives. So I think I think there's a lot more upside with Javonte probably than Taylor.
Yeah. And for the rest of the guys, so with Pickens, I don't know, maybe.
But I'm not touching Pickens.
You got to scratch the ticket, and if that's where you're at, and if you still have them, I believe that's exactly what you're doing. You're going to get your $2 Powerball.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, do you guys feel differently on that? Do you feel you feel comfortable on him, like on the confidence meter, you're in the 70s or 80%? And I'm just an idiot,
Well,
which could be true.
I mean, it's all going to come down to who else you have, right? So we can keep talking through. I think he's more like a tier 2 guy at this point.
Yes.
He's not a clear tier 1 must start.
Yeah,
I agree, Prue. I think I'm looking at the only way I'm starting Pickens at this point is if when I put in my starters on whatever website you're using for your Guillotine League, and it shows me 20 points below the next guy, the guy I'm playing in the championship, then I say, who's the guy who could roll a Yahtzee? Okay, I'll put Pickens in. He has the potential to roll a Yahtzee. Yeah. So maybe that's the only case I'm looking at.
They got Pickens slotted as the number 8 wide receiver this week. So
I wouldn't have him that high.
Me either. I mean, there's a lot of guys. In the same game, I think McLaurin can outproduce him in the same game. Yeah, I
do too.
So they're going to feed him. Dak Prescott, I think he's going to have a good week. I think that Commanders defense is soft.
I do too.
I think he's going to put up high 2s, if not 300 yards in Lamb. And Pickens, maybe he'll just be angry finally and play. It'd be nice to show up. And I think that's going to be a very high-scoring game, mostly on one side. I think that might be like a 34-14 game. Vegas has that game at 50.5 over-under.
Yeah.
That's probably all on one side. I know it's a -7 for Dallas, but if you can't see 30 points for Dallas, I mean, I don't know. I'm not seeing that. It'd be crazy.
So that Detroit mini game, Dex.
Yeah.
Do you like anybody in that game? Like, this is a really interesting one because, Minnesota's 7.5-point favorite or underdog at home.
Underdog.
Yeah.
Detroit is like beyond back against the wall here. Yes. Right?
Yeah. And here's the deal. So Max Brosmer, JJ McCarthy, man, every time I try and talk him up and he does something good, now he's got a hand fracture. He's got a micro
Glass
fracture.
Joe.
Man, this dude breaks crossing the street. I just don't understand. You need to put him in a bubble. I don't understand what's going on with this guy. He didn't miss any games in Michigan. Didn't miss any in all high school, but now he just can't help it.
Right.
In this game, though, Detroit's going to win handily. For one, they have to win, and the Vikings are starting Max Brosmer, and Max Brosmer can't move the ball at all. And we have Aaron Jones. He's kind of on his last leg, limping down the stretch. And he's still probably one of our better players on the Vikings. Jordan Mason hasn't done anything. I think he actually got hurt. I think Jordan Mason got carted off last game, if I'm thinking about the right play. Jefferson's not going to do much. I don't want anything to do with him. Hawkinson might be the only one because that's about all as far as Brosmer can throw. But even that, I mean, 4 for 40, that's the upside. So let's just get off of Minnesota. There's nobody I would start for Minnesota at all.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Jones, if you have everybody depleted and hurt. Aaron
Jefferson?
Jones, I think Max Brosmer. I mean,
I think he's the worst start than Pickens.
Option. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Prue.
Worse than Pickens for sure. So Jahmyr Gibbs, last game against Minnesota, had 9 carries for 25 and then 3 catches for 3 yards. He was held to his worst game of the season, 5.8 fantasy points. So I don't think that's going to happen again, just to be honest. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is way too talented for that to happen again. And if we just do the old law of averages, I bet he has a pretty decent game. I think he can pencil in for 100 scrimmage yards. He'll probably get in the end zone. So he's super confident about him, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's super confident. Jared Goff knows what he's doing. He can play fine, but again, they lost the first game against the Vikings. We'll see what happens, but I think those are the only players I feel comfortable about playing.
All right, I want to throw one out there for you guys. Prue, how do we feel about Jameson Williams?
I knew you were going to ask that. So I feel better about him now than I did 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's kind of showed up recently.
Yeah, he has.
He had a decent game this last week, I think. So, if I'm ranking him against Pickens and Jefferson, I think I'm starting Pickens, but barely, and then J-Mo.
I'll throw some stats at you. The last 4 weeks, Jameson Williams. 7 catches, 144 yards, a touchdown. 7 catches, 96 yards. 7 catches, 134 yards, a touchdown. 5 catches, 70 yards. That's what he's been the last 4 weeks. Yep. So the floor of 5 catches since week 13.
Yeah. Again, if we're talking about following trends like you've been highlighting, Chiz, this is one of those, do you believe it?
Right.
Now he's got a month track record, which certainly helps. But the problem is, with the problem with trends that you remember the other trends. The zero, the no catches. Right. I'm like, ugh. In a championship week.
Which he did have 2 of. He had 2 goose egg weeks. So.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, but I also think they're going to be so far ahead. This is not going to be a passing-infused day. I think it's going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery day, if anything. And they'll get up. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Amon-Ra is still going to move the chains. It's why everybody always loves Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Because he's the offense. It goes through 14. But I think and Gibbs, obviously, but J-Mo's never really the offense. He's a piece. And he's been better lately.
Yeah, I'm looking at their opponent too, right? Dallas versus Washington is somewhat similar to Detroit versus Minnesota.
Yeah.
As far as it being one-sided.
Yeah.
The difference to me is that Dallas is primarily a passing offense, and Detroit, well, they're just fine running the ball all day long if they
if they can, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, Pickens has more opportunity than I think.
Is anyone scared off by Jahmyr Gibbs' last 3 rushing totals? 43, 38, and 2.
I'm not. Just
because he catches the ball?
Yes. And he had 10 catches last week for 66 a touchdown, 4 and 7 for 77. That's 21 catches the last 3 weeks. So that's the main reason. Like, his rushing's low, but so is Christian McCaffrey until he went off for 115 yesterday.
So you kind of alluded to it earlier, Chiz, but you're to the point now that you got a bunch of studs on your team. It's really, you kind of got to go for it, right? And it's for once, you got to look at your upside on your team instead of the floor. Like, you don't really need a high floor now. You need a high upside. Go win.
That's a good point, Drew. It's a good point. It's a kind of different shift. It's a shift in thinking.
It's win or go home the final time. So you got to go for it and pick your highest upside guys. And guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Pickens have the opportunity to be 35 to 40 point guys.
What about Montgomery? You guys starting him?
Nah, I wouldn't.
I'm not.
No, he wouldn't be in my lineup on even traditional fantasy. I'd have to have everybody broke for Dave Montgomery to be in my lineup.
Too many other options at this point.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't get enough of the rock.
If you got to a championship week and you still have David Montgomery as one of your starters, Jesus, how the hell did you get there? We got to have you on here as a guest. So if you are like one of the listeners out there like, I have David Montgomery starting this week, let us know. Shoot us something.
Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, and we will get you on next week because I don't know what the rest of your team is.
You have 7 absolute studs.
Right, and David Montgomery.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, let's go to our third game, Denver at Kansas
City. Do we have to?
Pruitt, I want you to take this one. Are there any fantasy-relevant people, given what we now know the status of our poor, beloved Chiefs, and then how badly the Broncos are going to thrash them?
There's really not. I'd like to say that Kelsey might get a bunch of catches or something.
Like he did against the Titans last week?
Yeah. No. That's really the only thing I could see is just a bunch of 4-yard passes, and he racks up, 6 or 7 catches for 35, 40 yards. Like, that's like the only possible option if you are desperate for a tight end.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's really nobody else that I think is going to get more than 6 or 8 points.
Yeah, rocking a third-string quarterback is never a recipe to success in high ceilings for championship weeks.
No, I will. Not that I don't believe in Chris Oladukin, but I don't believe in Chris Oladukin. I will say this, though. Shout out to Travis Kelce. Little stat. It's fun for you guys. Kelce had 1 catch for 6 yards, correct? But that put him over 800 receiving yards for the season, which is he's now topped 800 yards in 12 straight seasons, which is tied with one other person for the most in NFL history. You guys know who that is. Pruitt.
Mr. Jerry Rice.
Club of 2, Jerry Rice and Travis Kelce. The only guys who have had 12 seasons in a row of over 800 straight yards. So
you just have to be Travis that many years too. That's crazy.
Right? Yeah.
If Travis does come back, I would have thought I would have had Tim Brown in there as a potential, but evidently he didn't have he had a down year there. But if Kelsey does choose to come back, he could set a record by himself there if he.
That'd be kind of cool. But we'll have to see how that goes. As far as the rest,
what about the Broncos? Is there anybody else on there?
Yeah. So
this week, like Harvey, Bo Nix, Sutton. Who do we like there?
There are technically 2 teams playing, so we should probably talk about both of them. I think Sutton may have a good game. Our secondary looked a little suspect last week against a not great Tennessee team.
What do you mean? Kimray DK doesn't strike fear into your heart?
He was pretty good last
exactly.
week.
Yeah.
Pretty good last week.
I got a lot of guys that looked pretty good last week.
All right.
I don't know. I'd have a tough time starting Harvey. I think the Chiefs' run D has been pretty good all year.
And it's at Arrowhead, even though it's
at Arrowhead.
Diminished Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. The predicted point total from Vegas is 36.5. Probably not going to be a lot of scoring on either side. But, I mean, it might be a 24-9 game or something crazy like that, but probably not in our favor.
No.
So, anyway, I don't see a lot of scoring. You could squeak out a touchdown with R.J. Harvey, but it's more likely going to be a couple of touchdown passes or a Bo Nix, 4-yard scramble or something for a touchdown.
Yeah. As I look at Denver, we'll get to this when we talk about playoffs probably next week or maybe the week after we meet our actual playoff previews. This is not a scary team, Denver. Mm-hmm. I mean, their defense is pretty good, really good. But, man, it's hard to win a game 3-0. And their offense is so slow so often in so many games. I don't know.
Look at this last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bo Nix, we talked about this beginning of the season, too, when he was actually having some good weeks. But he usually had good quarters, not full games. And he's not running that much. And he's certainly not putting up too many stats, too many touchdowns. I don't know. It's hard for me to I don't know if you got here with Bo Nix if you're still out there playing, but I don't know if I would trust him this week either.
Yeah, he only ran for 11 yards against the Jaguars, and they probably needed him to run more in that game. That game was at home. I know that I am a Denver hater, so go ahead and put that up, put the asterisk by this opinion. But if they hold on to the 1 seed, I think they could be the least scary 1 seed in the history of the NFL playoffs. Like, I really they're not they seem like a very
AFC Super Bowl representative. I feel very confident in that statement.
Me too.
I'm probably wrong, but I think I saw the stat this last week that they have come from behind 11 times.
Yes,
I think every game win they have.
Yeah.
So they've
been losing. Good for them. That catches up.
I mean, yeah, they have a stellar defense, and they start slow, is what I read out of that.
That's exactly right, Brew. They are always behind the fourth quarter. If you look at their results, they beat the Raiders by a touchdown. They beat the Commanders by 1 in overtime. They beat the Chiefs, who are obviously not a good team, by 3. They beat the Raiders again by 3. They beat the Texans by 3. They beat the Giants by 1. They beat the Jets by 2.
Yeah,
these are not good teams.
No, yeah. And I think a loss that really hurt them, and I don't know, I'm not a Denver fan, but J.K. Dobbins going down really hurt.
Agreed.
He was really good at pass blocking. He was really just a solid professional running back who got you big games when you need him, first downs when you needed them. They've missed that. They have really missed that. And R.J. Harvey's not that. I mean, he's a rookie and he's young back, but he's not the same. I don't think he's even close. I like J.K. Dobbins way better in that offense than R.J. Harvey.
I think that is the death knell for them too, Dex. I think people underestimate what he was doing for that team. Yeah. I think they could have made a pretty good run with him.
I do too. But they're a better team with J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, I don't think they were a Super Bowl contender still, but I think they could have won some playoff games with him. I would not at all be surprised if this was a one playoff
one
game
and done,
exit
man. If
for
they
them.
get the 1 seed, that's the only week they'll get through. The bye.
Yeah.
Let's keep going because I want to get to the. Well,
True
I don't know
story.
if we're talking about it this week or next week, but because Denver's the 1 seed and we don't really like them, who is going to step up? Because we talked about the Patriots too, that are the other potential 1 seed that have a soft schedule and yada yada.
That's true.
Favored
Let's go through.
by
We'll go through
Vegas.
Saturday's games pretty quick. There's not a lot of fantasy value on there. So Houston's got Nico Collins against the Chargers. Chargers have literally nobody I'd really feel comfortable. Lad McConkey's probably it.
Maybe.
Even that, I don't feel great at going against Houston's defense. So would you start either one of those guys this week? I'd probably start Nico, and that's about it. Are you guys on the same page, or is there someone else you would do?
As a guy who just went out with Nico Collins, Nico has had a string of just average, like
If you have Nico or Lad, who would you start?
Oh God, I probably would start Nico in that case.
Yeah. Against that particular, those two, I'm there.
I mean,
right.
you're because probably back to your upside, Pruitt.
Yeah.
Your upside argument is like Nico does have the potential to have a 2 touchdown game. I don't know that Lad has that potential.
No.
He has the potential to have an 8-catch game.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Right, that's true.
Baltimore at Green Bay. So we've got no Lamar, probably, but maybe, and that's a killer. Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, I like, but depends. Actually, I don't know if it does depend. I think even if it's Tyler Huntley, I still like Zay Flowers in that one against Green Bay. Green Bay, I love Jacobs because that dude played through just brokenness and still had that guy's he's tough, man. Josh Jacobs is a tough cat out there. But Josh Jacobs, he's questionable going into this week. Again, he was questionable last week. It was hard. So he 12 for 36, but he didn't practice all week. And then he goes against the Bears, and they obviously didn't use him as much as what he normally would. He didn't get in the end zone. That's a killer. And he only had 2 catches, which is kind of par for the course. So Jacobs is one that makes me nervous. Baltimore's defense has been better, but it's hard for me to call them good yet. If he plays normal and he's a little more healthy this week, I like Josh Jacobs. Are you guys on the same page, or are you kind of scrapping both these guys? Because Green Bay's rush D could make King Henry not that good either, especially if we're going Huntley. I mean, then it's just going to be, I would guess, a lower scoring game than normal. But I don't know. That injury
this game is at
Green Bay. It's at Lambeau.
It's at Lambeau, and it's a must-win game for both.
Yes.
But the Ravens realistically are out of the playoffs, but
they are.
They have to win, and so I don't know how they'll respond to that. I'll tell you, they look dysfunctional to me right now.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, like they just collapse. It seems like there's some disarray in the locker room between Henry, the coach. I think a lot of the players are upset. I like Green Bay better because it's a must-win for them as well, but it's at home.
Yep.
I like the fortitude and the resolution of that team more, and they just came off of a rough loss to the Bears.
That was a killer.
That's a game that they just gave away with that onside kick. How do you not field an onside kick? And then
they gave away 11 points in the
know,
last couple minutes. That game was over.
Yeah, and that game was salted away, and they gave it up. So I think they're going to come out pissed, and I like them in that game. So I don't have any fear of Josh Jacobs. I actually would start Josh Jacobs in this game, I think.
Yeah.
He's almost guaranteed a touchdown every game he plays. They just, short yardage down by the goal line, they just feed him over and over.
Yeah.
I see him at least scoring a touchdown.
Especially if he's healthier this week. Like, check out the practice schedule this week and look at the reports.
Yeah.
But if he's playing, last week, like I said, he didn't play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and he had a limited practice Friday, and then that was his practice week. So Jacobs, he wasn't right last week, and that explains a 12 for 36 and a 2 for 12. But generally speaking, he's pretty good. All right, let's go to Tampa, Miami. So really, I think there's only probably 1.5 players of note. So you got Devon A-Chain against Tampa. I mean, yes, right? No doubter. We don't even really talk about it. Nobody else in the Dolphins. I think that's also safe to say. The only issue that potentially impacts A-Chain is Quinn Ewers. So, I mean, not that he's much worse than Tua, but
right.
he certainly doesn't stretch the field, which makes it even harder for A-Chain. But on the flip side, it could lead to more dump-offs. And I know last week, so if you're looking at his stat sheet, the 3 catches kind of hurt, right? But he had 15 for 81, and that was against a very, 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 very porous Cincinnati defense. Tampa's more middle of the pack and usually pretty good against a run. And so that's what would give me some pause about A-Chain having a really big game because, again, I think the same gig they're going to be behind. Unless Tampa, man, maybe they've just totally collapsed. This team can't win either. They're like the Colts. They are now on the outside looking in. Carolina's atop the division. This is crazy town. But for Tampa Bay, I think Bucky Irving's going to have a good game. I like him. No one else I'd really start, though, out of this game. Is there anybody else you guys like?
I don't think it's a must start, but Evans is back. He had a nice game this last week.
Yeah, he did.
I think that helps make Buka better. But both of them are just like kind of low tier 2 type receivers, I think, for me. So
that's
probably
right.
not a must start. I think you're overthinking the A-Chain thing, though. You got to play him.
You do have to play him.
You're right.
They don't sit him, but
again, you're not looking for low floor. You're looking for upside, and he's got the potential to score a couple touchdowns. If anybody's going to do it in that whole game, he's going to do it. So.
I really like him. I wish I had him. I would. I mean, he's good on a bad team. So I would.
Yes.
That's rare. When you get a guy that's good on a bad team, they're good.
Yeah,
so
that was the last couple of years.
Yeah, it absolutely was, right? It's very similar, I think. So he's the only guy that I would start in that game.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's go to Patriots-Jets. So Drake May, absolutely. Is there anybody else? I mean, Diggs, Hunter Henry, Travion, if he comes back from his concussion. Those are all maybes. Nobody on the Jets. No, nobody. So
no Brady Cook? You're not going to start Brady Cook?
Well, maybe for the New England defense, but that's about it.
Breece Hall.
Right?
Yeah, Breece Hall, no. I'm just telling you, no way. It wouldn't be in my lineup. So I think really the only comfortable start out of all that, Drake May, who's carried you to this championship week, ride him. Again, Stephon Diggs, it's not something you can really count on. He had a great week. I don't know. He should be able to do it again against the Jets, and he seems like he's getting right at the right time. So I guess maybe I wouldn't mind having him in my flex spot, but I don't know if he's one of my top 2 wideouts. Where are you guys at on that?
No, I think he's a decent flex start.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much, though. I don't think because the outside of Drake May, I would not feel good about anybody else in this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the only one. Steelers, Browns, again, I'm not starting anybody. None of those players will be on my roster for this week. Next, Arizona and Cincinnati. So I like Joe Burrow against the Cardinals. I like Trey McBride. And obviously it's Jamar Chase and Brown. So that's the main players. Is there anybody else you like in that game? I mean, Marvin Harrison, I guess.
He's too unproven at this point, I think.
But we're looking at upside. I don't know. Pruitt's got me thinking upside now.
No, you're laughing, Fruit, kind of, but listen, I started Michael Wilson the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I picked up Michael Wilson was this. I looked, and in the final week, they were playing Cincinnati. And I was like, wow.
Championship week.
Like, this feels like I had Trey McBride. I have him. I'm like, I think both those guys could put up big points this week. And on the other side, I think Jamar Chase could put up big points this week. I think Chase Brown could put up big points this week too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Burrow could throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean,
I would seriously consider Burrow. Burrow depending on who I had.
This is going to be a shootout. I think it's all the guys you should play.
Dex has said it earlier in the season that you look for high point total games, right? And this is the highest of the week, 53.5.
Yeah.
So they're expecting, Vegas is expecting this to be a
not a lot of punts,
35 to 20 game.
Yeah.
So it's 35-21 type scores. So lots of touchdowns for everybody.
That's right.
It is. All right. So I like everybody in that game to just be on the record. So Saints, Titans. Next, please. All right. Jacksonville Colts. Wow. We talked about Jonathan Taylor, so I'm not going to go kick that horse again and go back to the beginning if you missed it. ETN. Where are we at on ETN? Do you feel like he is a championship-winning running back for your team in the final week of the season? Because, boy, he's been a up-and-down guy.
Yeah, he's not. To Pruitt's earlier point again, there's not enough upside for him. He's not going to score 3 touchdowns.
Except he did 2 weeks ago against the Jets.
Don't bring facts into this.
I know. That's what I do. I make sure when you throw out he can't score 3 touchdowns. He's had 4 in the last 2 weeks. Actually, he's had 6 in the last 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay, I'm shocked by that. I gotta reconsider. I'm playing old tape in my head because I would have said no for sure, but that's a crazy trend right there. If he's got 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks,
he's touchdown in 6 of 7 games, and of those 6 games, he scored multiple touchdowns 1, 2, 3 times.
Colts defense obviously showed that they're not going to put up any resistance right now. So
yeah, 10 touchdowns.
Maybe I do. Maybe I consider him, especially as a flex.
That's where I'm at. I think he's in. I got him in. And CMC just ran all over the Colts. So, and that's a guy who hasn't been able to get over 3 yards a carry this season. And the Jacksonville's trucking people, man.
Do you like any of these wide receivers on either side of the ball?
Not enough to start. If you have to start one of these guys, you're in a bad spot. So no,
Downs?
No, not doing it. Not touching them.
I think it's similar to like Green Bay. They spread the ball around too much. There's
3 for 40 yards.
No focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce was the game-changing guy last night. I mean, what?
Yeah.
No, you're not starting.
What about
Alec
Jacksonville?
Pierce.
You like Brian Thomas Jr., Mr. Disappointment for me this year?
No, he's dead. If you're already done. You're not even in the championship. You don't have Brian Thomas Jr. if you're listening to this right now for a starting decision. So we'll just move on. Right. There's no one else you would start. It's Jonathan Taylor, ETN, and frankly, Trevor Lawrence has been hot. I think he has. I mean, I don't even know, like 12 touchdowns or something stupid the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he has.
It is a bunch, and Trevor Lawrence is someone he could potentially be on the waiver still. But listen to this: last 5 games passing. 3 touchdowns, 2, 5, 3. And he's ran in 2 other ones. So this is somebody that is not even getting mentioned in MVP consideration, and they might be the 1 seed in the AFC. Trevor Lawrence needs to get a little more love, but it's Drake May all day. Don't get me wrong, for AFC MVP kind of guy. But Trevor Lawrence has not been as bad as you think because he's been rolling lately.
I know I do it, but I'm still like totally undervaluing Jacksonville. I just can't fathom that they're good this year.
Me too.
They keep winning, and Trevor Lawrence is the reason why. I mean, he's playing way better than he has the last 4 or 5 years, and I agree. I always have him pictured as a tier 3 type quarterback, and he's
totally
outplayed that the last 4 or 5 weeks.
He's had a really good year. You're right.
Yep, 7 out of 8 wins, and he's been really, really good the last chunk. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. Getting no one else on the Colts. So Tyler Warren, I'll throw this out because he is one of the guys we had in our top 4 tight ends. Do you like Tyler Warren against the Jags? Even though he didn't have the best game last night, but
I don't like him.
I don't know if I like him either. I think I can find other options.
I don't like him because I'm afraid it doesn't seem like Rivers is like gelling with him.
Yeah, Riley Leonard won't be much better.
No. Yeah. I don't like him. He scares me too much.
I like Tyler Warren against the Jags more than I like Kelsey against Denver.
Agree with that.
If you give me a Sophie's choice like that. All right.
Yeah,
I agree though.
Again, it all comes down to who you got available to you. And he might be available, and you might be stuck starting a tight end that you'd rather not have. But
you
could do worse.
That's true. All right, let's go to Seattle at Carolina. So this one, you have arguably the offensive player of the year, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I think
Definitely
that's a no-brainer.
Starts.
No one else on Seattle, even Darnold, no one else. So I know we love Darnold on this show. He's kind of our favorite guy.
He is.
Just has a shirt, has his jersey, has his poster, has his rookie
I
card.
love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
So, but even him, not going to start him. On Carolina, Tedrow McMillan has been playing well. But some of these games, it's one catch for 40 and a touchdown. A.J. Barner is also someone we can bring up. Yeah, I mean, you could do worse if you need a tight end. And we're talking about some tight end matchups we don't like. A.J.
Right.
Barner could be better than those two. So Tyler Warren and Travis
Right.
Kelce, if that's who you've been riding, you know what? A.J. Barner could be a nice fit for this week. Carolina, though, I don't know if I really want to start anybody. I know they're doing well, and they're leading their division now. But does anybody, give you, confidence going against Seattle's defense? Not me.
No, that's a super tough matchup. I like Carolina's offense a lot better than the Chiefs against Denver.
Yeah.
Right, but Carolina against Seattle is going to be a tough matchup. That's another. I mean, 42 is not horrible. 42.5 is the predicted point total.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
not terrible,
no.
but
Props to Rico Dowdle for hitting 1,000 yards, but he's dead in the water now.
Yeah.
And Chuba Hubbard's not any better. There's no touchdowns to be had there. I don't like anybody on that team right now.
It's kind of a stay away game for me, except for JSN.
Yeah.
If you're
I
going for a
agree.
championship and a trophy, that's it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Giants Raiders. I think there's probably only one player out of those two teams as well. And if you guys aren't on the same page as Brock Bowers, who are you thinking about? Is there anyone else that you would start?
I was hoping you were going to say that because couldn't think of anybody else.
I was going to say not so fast, my friend, because I am concerned. Well, I wanted to bring up Ashton Genty, who just put up 120 yards against Houston's defense. So did they figure something out there? I don't know, but just putting that out there. I'm not saying I would start him, but
is the Raiders
out there.
line still 5 steaming piles of brown manure in a jersey that says Raiders on the back? Though?
Here's the other thing I would worry about.
It is.
The other thing I worry about is Brock Bowers. I mean, 6 for 28, 5 for 33. His last 2 games, he did have a touchdown in there. That's kind of ew. That's kind of gross. I don't know. I don't know that I feel
3 of the last 4 games though. All you want is your tight end to score for you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, in a thin tight end world, you probably have to start him. But
this just isn't been a good year for tight
trending
ends.
in the right way to me.
I know, but Travis Kelce is still 2 or 3 fantasy tight end, and we don't even want to look at him. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So this is such a thin position in championship week. You have Brock Bowers and Trey.
Yeah, you're right.
You're feeling great.
You're right.
2 tight ends. That's good.
You're right.
All right,
that's fair.
AJ Barner or Travis Kelce this week?
AJ Barner.
Oh God, I probably would start AJ Barner. I feel like that's blasphemy, but
it is. But it's also not Olabadukon.
He's getting more looks, and he's got someone competent throwing the ball. So
yeah, I'm not messing with that.
I think we're
a few games left.
Philly
Bills. There are a lot of players in this particular one. So we got Saquon and James Cook, running backs. We got AJ Brown, who's turned it around and looks very passable, and Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and frankly Dallas Goedert from the tight end position too. I like all those guys. I feel great with any of them if they're your starters. They're who got you here. So ride them all, man. I mean, Josh Allen may have just gotten you chopped last week. Especially if you coupled him with Trey McBride, so you had your 2 in-game guys.
Right.
Sealed your season right there. So you're not in this game anymore if you had both those guys. But regardless, I think if you got through with all those are your starters, those are your horses. I don't really have any concerns on any of them. Do you guys feel differently?
None of the ones you mentioned. What about Devontae Smith, or do you start like a Kincaid or Knox? Those guys have been getting a ton of targets the last few weeks for Buffalo.
They have.
not super consistent all year long, but they've been really good lately.
Yeah, we have highlighted a bunch of bad tight ends. So if you are starting one of those, sure. I think one of those guys you want to take a look at because they are better than who you have. And if you're like, well, I can pick up A.J. Barner, I mean, maybe you do want Knox or Kincaid. Frankly, I'd probably still lean on Kincaid because I think he's got more talent. But I feel like this always when Knox is scoring touchdowns. Like,
yeah, Knox had 2 touchdowns last week against New England.
Yep.
And I think one neither before maybe.
The problem is I'm looking at their numbers.
Are you going to hit us with facts again, Chisholm?
Yeah, they're not getting targets. So it's like, it's definitely like the max they're getting is like 4 a week, which is kind of tough to. I mean, they're turning that into touchdowns sometime, but I don't think there's enough upside there. What about Saquon?
I like him. I think he's getting into that point of the season. Again, if you have him and you've gotten to this point, you haven't benched him all season.
Yeah.
So you're going to keep riding him through, and he got over 1,000 yards, which is so funny to say because last year he did it in like week 8. And now
he did have his second
17.
I know.
I got 1,000 yards.
He's the guy. He's another guy that he can bust out a 75-yard run on any given play.
That's exactly right.
And he is coming off his second best week of the year, so that's
like I don't know if they're fixed,
thing.
But I feel just fine. And what I think will be it has a low 43-point over under for Vegas, but I think honestly I might change my damn pick. I think it's going to go over that. I think it's going to be over 43 points. So I think there's going to be scoring in this game to be had, and I think it's going to be the main players. So that's where I feel on that. Chicago San Fran for Sunday night. Again, I think we've talked multiple weeks in a row. The Bears don't have anybody we really like from a fantasy standpoint. Really none. I mean, DeAndre Swift.
They're just too inconsistent.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that'd be the only one. I don't think he got you the championship week. And if so, again, give us a call. We want to have you on as a guest. Like, I managed to get through with DeAndre Swift. And
I'll tell you right now, I feel like this is a massive setup for Chicago to have a turd of a game. Like, this feels like they're coming off of a high. They think they're all that. They're going to go out to San Francisco, 2 time zones away. San Francisco is a good football team.
Yeah.
I really like – this is a game we don't pick because it's a Sunday night game, but this is a game I really like San Francisco -3 here. I feel like the inexperience of the young Bears is going to haunt them here, and therefore I don't like anybody on that team. I like Kittle and I like CMC.
Yep, and Purdy, frankly. I think Purdy's going to have a good game too.
Yeah, Purdy's had a 5-touchdown game last week.
Yeah, he's been absolutely trucking since he's got back the last few weeks. And Brock Purdy is probably a reason some of you guys, especially in the 2 quarterback leagues, when you got him back or if you picked him up off waivers, I mean, he's had 8 touchdowns the last 2 weeks and 295. He's running a little bit. Woo! Brock Purdy's been hot. So I think that is someone that, again, 5 straight games, all wins after coming back from injury. Brock Purdy can take you to the promised land potentially. So I like him too. All right, last game. Rams-Falcons. Who do we like other than the obvious? Like, we got the Bijan. We got Matt Stafford. Let's go, baby. Okay. Do you believe in Kyle Pitts to bring you home the championship on the final game, the final seconds, the final snap? Is Kyle Pitts your guy in the flex or tight end spot to win your trophy? Prove it.
Oh, my gosh. It's setting up to be.
You're Mr. Tight End. You're Mr. Tight End guy.
We just talked about all the crappy tight end matchups this week, but man, he could bring it home for you.
He can bring it home.
I don't hate him this week.
Everybody.
I know. I don't hate him this week. That's a good way of saying it, Chiz.
I really don't. I mean, they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing the ball. Like, who are they going to throw to? An injured Drake London or Kyle Pitts? And you know where Kirk likes to go.
He'll get his.
Kirk likes to tight end.
Yep, which was my whole strategy last year, and it did not work, Chisholm, because he did not like his tight end because Kyle Pitts decided to suck last year.
He was horrible. Right. Devontae Adams is a touchdown maker, but he's questionable, so you got to really pay attention to that injury because he has scored a crap load of touchdowns this year.
Yeah, just a ton.
But if he's going to play and he's semi-healthy, I love him.
Yeah, in Stafford, obviously, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, those are all the no-doubters. You're starting all those guys.
Hopefully everyone's paying attention, but the last 4 weeks, Kyle Pitts has 9 targets, 12 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets.
Wow. Yeah.
And that has turned into 7 catches, 11 catches, 6 catches, 7 catches.
Dang. The passing game has gone through Kyle, man.
It would be hard to set him down this week.
I agree.
With all the other crappy type of matchups we've already talked about.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's going to be our last Island game, too, so we'll get our props up. So check our socials for that. But let's kick it back over to Chiz now to go through our gambling picks.
Let's go through the picks. So last week, what did we do for you? Well, we were having a little bit of a slowness lately. But what happened? Yeah, we came in with a 3 for 3.
Let me get my Shrewdness watch.
All the doubters that were like, the Shrewdness has lost it. The Shrewdness has lost their golden touch. I'm abandoning the Shrewdness picks. Well, you just lost a lot of money. You could be on a yacht right now listening to this, but instead you're at home because you doubted us. So don't do it again, my friends. Don't do it again. Last week we gave you Kansas City, Tennessee under 37.5 from Prue. Cha-ching. Dex minus 2.5 at the Giants. Cha-ching. And I gave you Cleveland plus 10 at Buffalo. Cha-ching. 3 for 3. Don't doubt. We're on a heater to end the season. We're going to give you...
Chiz, I want to interrupt real quick. Even if you accidentally did Pruitt's other pick before we found out, that one still hit too. So
that hit too.
We got all 4 picks.
Really? 4 for 4?
Yeah, it was the Cincinnati over.
Right.
Yeah, Cincinnati and Miami over 50.5, and they scored like
and then
60 something.
They scored like 95 points or something. It was ridiculous.
It was 66, I think. 45 to 21, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy. So we're going to give you 6 picks this week. We're going to give you 3 for Thursday, Saturday games. We're going to give you 3 for the Sunday games. So you're going to make a lot of money to pay for all those Christmas gifts that you just bought. So let's start out with Prue on our Thursday, Saturday slate. Prue, who do you like?
This week, we talked about the game earlier. Green Bay and Baltimore, definitely a must-win for Baltimore to have any sort of playoff hopes. And then Green Bay needs every win they can get to make sure they, get as high of a seed as they can. I like Green Bay at home. I think they're a super tough out in Lambeau. It's not supposed to be super cold, which would give them an even bigger advantage, but I still like them to beat Baltimore by at least 2.5. So I'm going Green Bay at home minus 2.5.
Dex, when we look Thursday, Saturday, what catches your eye?
I got to go against one of my teams. So when I heard Max Brosmer starting for Minnesota, I go to the other team and pick the over. So that's Detroit minus 7.5 to cover easily, because that would mean Detroit just needs to score 8 points in this game to cover. Because Minnesota is going to be punting regularly. We've got no Jordan Mason. We got a broken Aaron Jones. We've got a defunct Jefferson because we have Max Brosmer throwing behind a broken line.
Yep.
Yeah. So if Minnesota gets to double digits in points, I'll be amazed. Detroit is playing for their life, their literal playoff life right now. And they lost to Minnesota earlier at Detroit. They are going to not hold back. I think they're going to go 4th down all the way down the field and get it. And I think it's just not going to be good for us being Minnesota. So minus 7.5 Detroit. Take that to the bank, because you can almost ladder that thing up to 14 and feel pretty good.
I agree. The hook doesn't even scare me in that game at all.
Not at all.
I like
trying to scare people away because Vegas is like, oh, we can't make it too lopsided, or no one will take it.
Right.
I don't know how that game's only 7.5, and
me either. I
Chiefs,
feel like
the Chiefs game's 13.5.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just Detroit's looked a little weird lately, so maybe that's what it is. But the Brosmer factor, I agree, that really changes things a lot.
I like the total's still 43.5, so Vegas is thinking it's more like a 30 to
24-21, 24-17.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
24-17.
It's ugly. I don't know how they'll get there. All right, Chiz,
Yeah.
let's go to your pick. What are we going to finish off our first slate with?
So one of the things I like, as you guys know, is interdivisional unders. The other thing I like is disinterested team unders. We have two teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs, nothing to play for. They've booked their Cancun trips. They're trying to not get hurt, which means a lot of punting. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of effort in this game. The Dallas does have potential to blow it open, and they could, but they don't have a lot of heart on this Dallas team. So I don't see them playing for pride. So I think that 50.5 seems like a lot of points. And I love that under. I don't think Washington's going to score. I think Washington and Minnesota would be a good matchup this week. I think that would be a very close game. But I don't think Marcus Mariota
9-6
I don't see 50.5 points. I think Dallas gets up big and then sits on it. I see something like a 35-6 game, something like that. Like it's not going to be 50. So I love that under. So those are our three picks for Thursday, Saturday games. Green Bay -2.5 versus Baltimore. Detroit -7.5 at Minnesota. And the Dallas-Washington under at Washington under 50.5. By the way, before we go into our Sunday picks, we have hit 53% of the picks on the year, which will put you slightly in the money. So
none of us have been doing any better than anyone else on the Shrewdness. We're very shrewd together in our.
You could be very happy to know that each of us individually has hit 53%. We have all hit 9 of 17 picks on the year. So you could go with any or all of us goons. Okay, so Sunday. We have Sunday games. Prue, what do you like on the Sunday slate?
I was pleased to find out that the last 2 weeks, Tyler Shuck, who we've given such a hard time all year, threw for 272 and a touchdown, and last week 308 and a touchdown.
Look at this guy; he's a legitimate NFL quarterback.
He's starting to learn his role a little bit. I wouldn't hang my hat on him lighting up everybody, but they are going against a Tennessee team that's been pretty weak all year. And even though they just beat the Chiefs were not the Chiefs.
Beat the JV team.
Shell of a team.
Right. So I actually like New Orleans in this game. I think they go into Tennessee and win by at least field goal. So I'm taking New Orleans -2.5 versus Tennessee.
Good deal.
Nice.
I like it. Dex, what are you seeing here?
So I'm going to the division battle. So AFC Jacksonville versus the Colts. That's a lot of points, 48.5. So I'm going under in that game because it's either Phillip Rivers or Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
I just don't see the Colts scoring that many points. And Jacksonville, I think, is going to get up. And if it's 31-17, there we go. That's a winner. 17's a lot. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's going to have a super good game for that to be that. And if Jacksonville doesn't get to 31, great. Now the under's even easier. But even saying 31-17 is a winner chicken dinner, I feel pretty good about that. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think the defenses are going to come show up. And winner needs – the Colts have to win, and Jacksonville's playing for a 1 seed. So both teams are playing with everything they got. So I like the under in that as a defensive struggle.
Yeah, I like it too. So my pick on Sunday, I'm going to break one of the rules in the Chisholm Bible, which is
so surprising.
Late season interdivisional unders. I'm a huge fan of. When I saw this number, I couldn't take it. I can't understand it. My brain can't process 33.5 as a total in the NFL, especially when one of the teams is still playing for playoff position in Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I'm taking the over, which I think is the first over I've taken in like 3 years, maybe. That's how.
You never do the over.
I never do the over, but like 33.5. Dear God, like Cleveland has scored some lately. They've actually put ups, and their defense has been a little porous lately. So.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are playing a little bit of old tape here. I do believe those interdivision games where they become familiar with one another tend to be lower scoring games, but And I know that Pittsburgh is without one of their key receivers, DK Metcalf. But 33.5 points is way too stinking low in the NFL. So I'm going to go this game is probably a 21-14 game, and that puts you over, and that's money. So over 33.5 in a not super cold Cleveland for Pittsburgh-Cleveland. So over 33.5 Pittsburgh-Cleveland on Sunday, under 48.5 for Jacksonville Colts, and New Orleans and Mr. minus 2.5 versus Tennessee. So that's 6 picks. I just so you guys know, I bet these all individually, and then I bet them as a parlay. I suggest you do that. Bet them all. Bet them as parlay, and hey, bet them as a 6-leg parlay because they're probably all going to hit. So maybe bet all 6 of them.
A really big yacht.
Big yacht. If you want to go for the big yacht. So those are our gambling picks. 53% on the year. Follow the socials for those prop picks, which, by the way, prop picks were 54% on the year, and our parlay hit rate is 18% for 3-leg parlays. For those of you who know much about betting, a good parlay hit rate for 3-leg parlays is somewhere around 13%, 12, 13, and we're hitting 18. So really good money makers there, and we just hit one last night, San Francisco Indy. So check those out. The socials Saturday. We'll do 2 Island games then, Sunday night game and Monday night game, as Dex said.
Yep.
Before we move on, I want to give a shout out. So I saw at the Division II Championship where my beloved Harding Bison fell this week. I saw an old friend, Reagan Price. Reagan Price told me, hey, would you mind giving a shout out to my son on the Shrewdness? And I said I would. So shout out to Dawson Price. We will give you a follow-up on Dawson this year. Dawson is in the Detroit Tigers minor league system. He's a pitcher. He played rookie ball last year. He's probably going to start at low A this year. So Dawson, we'll be watching you. We'll be tracking you. Shout out from the Shrewdness. Go kill him out there. We're excited to see your season this year. We will be off next week, I believe. Is that correct? We may try to get a little short one out there. We'll see, but we may be off next week. But check the socials.
There's no fantasy playoffs. It's just going to be kind of some fun real-life potential scenarios, even though a whole bunch got locked in already. It might just be jockeying for position.
We're down,
so we'll see what happens.
we're down to the last. I think we're down to the last 4 spots. I think.
Yep.
Playoff teams.
That's right.
All right.
But follow us on socials. We'll update you. And don't forget the website. We've got it linked on all the socials as well. Shrewdness.beam.ly. Check it out. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Merry Christmas. We love spending time together. This has been great for us and our friendship and getting to experience it together. But we absolutely love the fact that you guys are enjoying it too, and appreciate every one of you that listens and forwards it. It really does mean a lot. It lets us do it, and it's fun. So thank you. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Even the ribbing.
Yeah.
Even the ribbing.
That's the best part.
When we miss on a pick or whatever.
Come at us. We'll come right back at you.
Yep.
That's right. But good luck in your championships this weekend. Bring home the belt. Bring home the crown. Whatever it is in your particular league, good luck. Hopefully we've been able to help you out at least a little bit. And as the games go through, be sure to get your lineups in on Christmas, man. Don't sleep in too late on that because the games get rolling, and there's some important ones. So hopefully they start you off well. But enjoy time with the family. Enjoy watching some football this weekend. We'll be back in probably a couple weeks. You might get a short one on next week, like Chisholm said. But just on your picks and your presence and everything else, the most important thing, stay shrewd.
Stay shrewd.